Hey folks, this is Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge, and in this video I'm going to say who the winner for the Patreon prize is for the month of September, and we're going to talk about Ganzo carbon fiber laminate on their handle scales. There continues to be the idea going around that the carbon fiber that Ganzo does is solid carbon fiber all the way through, and I would love that for it to be true, but it's not. And people just don't want to believe me when I say, no, it's not. It's a laminate on carbon, on G10 on both sides. And the reason they did it, that's what their supplier for the G10 could supply them with. And so that's what they've got. They supplied them with G10 that had carbon fiber laminate on both sides. That way they could do with it what they want, and it would always work out. And if there's any flaws on it, they could always just use the other side, because the blank for the carbon fiber laminate for almost all of their knives can work on either the right or the left-hand side, depending on how they mill it. These, with the access lock, they have to mill this little thing on the inside out, but a lot of the other ones, yeah, you can just slap them on either way, like they're the liner lock versions. So how do I know that it's not full carbon fiber all the way through? I'll tell you that in just a little while. For now, for the prize for the Patreon winner, what I had was 33 people of Patreon supporters last month. And so I get the list of all those supporters. What I do is I go to Google and I do a random number search between 1 and 33 this time, because there was 33 supporters. Hit that generate button to generate a random number. And the first number that came up was somebody that won just 2 months ago. So I hit generate again, and the number 10 came up. And that person is David L. from Colorado. And David chose the Road Trip, the AccuStrike Road Trip. What a great choice. Really good knife, very comfortable for so many people. And that'll be going into the mail to David this week. Monday probably, because today I've got a bunch of medical appointments that I got to go to in just a few minutes. So I'll probably record this part where I show you how this is not really carbon fiber in just a few minutes. For now, let's set up at the tabletop and get everything ready for this examination. Okay, guys, I took this handle scale off of one of my Ganzo knives. Now, I've done these reviews for over 3.5 years now, and Ganzo was one of the companies that I reviewed from basically the beginning. They liked my videos, and eventually they took me on as one of their factory reviewers. They would send me knives directly from the factory that I could review, and they were very good to me that way. And I don't remember the exact date, but when they first sent me one of these knives with the carbon fiber on it, I thought it was solid carbon fiber. I thought it was so cool. I even mentioned it in the video that it was solid carbon fiber. And the Ganzo rep emailed me back and said, "Sorry, Jake, that's not solid carbon fiber. Please let your viewers know," because Ganzo didn't want people to be uninformed. But I guess they could have done better on their websites in the year following, the 2 years following, and put it straight on their site that it's carbon fiber laminate. But that's what this is. This is G10 in the middle, and then carbon fiber laminate on both sides. And, they got it with it on both sides. And that way, if there was So if there was a batch of stuff, carbon fiber, this stuff, this material, and it had some scuffs or some problems on part of it, most of these handle scales, they can be put on either way. The ones that have the cutout here for the access lock, not so much, but the liner lock versions and stuff, they can be put on either side. They just get the edges chamfered slightly differently, and it works both ways. And so they wanted me to let people know. And so I've let people know in my videos, but people still are insisting that this is solid carbon fiber. And that's why. They see it on both sides and they say, well, it must be a solid carbon fiber all the way through. The first giveaway that it's not solid carbon fiber is, well, I told you it's not, and the factory told me. And the fact that all of these models, if you get this knife in G10, you'll find that it's got milling on the side of the handle, but the carbon fiber is flat. Every single model that they've done so far is that way. The G10 models might have milling and stuff in them, but the carbon fiber models are perfectly flat. If it was solid carbon fiber, they could easily just mill in the exact same patterns they do in the G10 versions. There's, it's not, a material that doesn't mill very well. Because a lot of companies, makers that use solid carbon fiber slabs, they do all kinds of milling all over them. This is not that. And so what I did on one case, I took, some sharp tools and I dug in the carbon fiber until, I got to the G10. And, it's G10 underneath there. If I can get the light just right. And this material in here, that doesn't look like carbon fiber. It just doesn't look like rough carbon fiber or anything. That's G10. So what I did was I decided to make this video, and I'm going to heat this thing up. I've already done it, but the audio on that video portion is very bad. So the next thing you're going to see me heating this up, and it took a long time, so I'm going to cut out some of that video. I used a heat gun. But watch this section where I heat this side up and I show that it is, in fact, laminate. Okay, so I've got a heat gun. I've got this. It's going to make some noise. It's got a motor and a fan and everything in there. Please excuse that. I've got a wider view here, so in case I move something, I'm going to stay within the frame. So here we go. First, I'm just going to heat up the one side, and then we'll see what happens. Try to protect my hands from the heat here. Let's see if I can... Ooh, the whole thing's flexible a little bit. Well, it doesn't want to move yet. I'm starting to burn the wood here. It's really hard to see here what I'm doing. Maybe I should use a piece of steel instead of a piece of plastic for this. It's not getting in there just right. I'm going to go get an actual chisel. Well, whatever you use to adhere this is pretty strong. I am getting under it a little bit here. I might have to be willing to wreck this knife to get at it very well. I don't want to cut myself either, so it is a bit tricky. Let's come down to the side here a little bit. Can you still see that? Just barely. Come a bit further. No, that doesn't want to come off. I don't want to use a propane torch. I know somebody's going to suggest that because that's going to burn the G10 and make this completely useless, most definitely. So I don't want to do that. Now that is laminate coming off right there, but somebody's going to say, well, that's way too small. There's no proof there. That you're just taking off a layer of the carbon fiber. That's what can be said, so I'm going to have to keep on heating this. It's always tricky finding a spot to put that heat gun where I'm not going to burn anything. Let's try with this knife this time. Okay, let's see if I can see what I'm doing here. It's got a chisel grind, so I should be able to get under it a little more easily. There we go. There we go, getting under it now. Now, anybody who knows anything about carbon fiber, you know that if it's a solid piece of carbon fiber, you can't get an even cut in it like this. it just isn't going to work, just especially with a knife like this. It just won't happen. The material just doesn't allow for it. It's just going to come apart. Oop, there we go. A piece just let go like crazy right there. And, well, let's just go ahead. Now it's peeling. So I think that is good enough proof right there. So let's see if we can focus on this. Actually, I'm going to bring it closer to the tabletop. There we go. So as not to ruin this knife completely, I'll be able to glue that back on. Take a look here. It's starting to get cold, nice enough to touch. You can see there's a nice clear backing to that. There's a nice clear lining to that. It's, you know, it's a sticker. They stick it on there, and there's a layer of G10 in the middle because that's cheaper. So for all those reasons, the fact that it is, you know, they don't mill it all over the place, and the fact that, you know, they have to get their materials from the factory, other factories, the way the other factories make it. GearBest does not make their own G10. They buy it, they outsource it. So they get the G10 laminate like this, just like other companies that get G10 laminate, they get it, you know, whatever way their suppliers supplies it. But this is very clear. You know, the way it's come apart on here, it simply would not come apart on a nice clean layer like this if it was solid carbon fiber. There's the proof. So the evidence is, you know, Ganzo reps directly talked to me. I talked to them and they said it's laminate. I dug into it before and I proved that there was G10 on the inside, and now I've taken a layer off, and so now you know for sure the carbon fiber on G10, it's just the laminate. They never ever claim that it is solid carbon fiber. When they do make a knife with solid carbon fiber, and who knows when they'll do that, I am very certain that they will claim that it's solid carbon fiber. So there you go. Thanks for watching this little video, my friends. Congratulations again to David L. from Colorado. You're a great Patreon supporter. Thank you very much. And for all my other Patreon supporters, you guys are awesome. I allow for one winner. You know, one human can win once per year. So my Patreon supporters, it's just more fair that way. That way 12 different people will win every year. But I can't just say that you can't win again until everybody else has won. Like, that's just kind of silliness. So every year, everybody gets the same odds of winning. Thanks for watching my channel. If you want to become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/CCE or look down below for all my different links. I've got an influencer page on Amazon, which means there's items that I recommend that you can easily find there. And coupons for places like White Mountain Knives. You can get 10% off with my coupon code Power Cutlery. You can get 5% off of Ganzo knives. All that information is down below in the description area. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Oh, and anybody who's wondering about this, I've done a review on this. This is the 7048 by Sanran Mew. It's got a chisel grind blade on one side and a liner lock, and the other side has got multi-tools that I kind of like. So I'll have a link to that video down below as well. Bye for now.